Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special Get Back Together edition of Mac Mania, a show that we did about 2 years ago for about a few years. And of course, joining me is the man who used to do it with me, my co-host, my former co-host of this beautiful show, is Mark Knight from the Mr. Mark UK1 channel. I guess if you're still there, Mark, it's great to see you. Great to be back doing a special one-off edition of this show.
Yeah, it's definitely great to be back doing episode Mac Mania. I remember you got in contact with me asking about doing the one-off special. So, well, yeah, why not? Have a little catch-up with what's been happening in the world of Apple and maybe us as well, maybe.
Yeah, well, we're gonna start with us because a lot has gone on in the last couple of years. I think we did our last show at the start of 2014, if I can remember correctly. We have to go through the. I didn't go.
Yeah,
I didn't go through.
Our last, was it a Christmas special we did, or was it we actually did another show?
I think we did a couple of shows after Christmas. I know we returned back on the 2013 and did a Christmas show, and then did a couple of shows, and then decided the time was right to end the show. But yeah, I think we ended in 2013 and 2014. So it's been a while,
right.
And a lot has changed. Mark, I want to ask you the question: what's changed for you in terms of technology? Because we know a couple of years ago you used to have a Mac. You got a Mac. You did the Mac unboxing on Mac Mania. What's changed for you in terms of technology?
Well, first of all, I no longer have the Mac. I sold it. I do regret it, but I do plan on buying a Mac Mini later, hopefully this year. But another thing has changed. I don't know if you may remember yourself, Jacob, but I've always wanted an iPhone.
Yeah.
I could never got one. I always had an Android phone, and I could never get on well. But about a year ago, I was online and we had these Facebook sales, and around the corner from me, not round the corner, but 20 odd miles or 30 minutes away, someone was selling an iPhone 4S, and I said I'll buy it, which I got for £95, which was, I don't know what it is conversion wise, and I have it right here, and it was brilliant. I had no problems with it whatsoever until about a few months after my lock button, and I remember it being a problem. I've been told on the 4S broke. Yeah, so I had no lock button for ages. But anyway, I got it sort of fixed, but then the screen died at the same time. It's not working properly, so I got a cheap screen. But my contract on my phone was coming to an end, so I upgraded to the 5S. So I've had 2 iPhones in 1 year, but I'm never going back because now I get on really well with the iPhone, and it's brilliant.
I'm glad to hear that because it is it's in my opinion it's one of the best devices in the world, one of the best smartphones in the world. People will argue and say Android's better, and
yes,
the new Samsung Galaxy is great phone, but I actually believe, and I have tried Android. I know you have as well, Mark. I think you did try Android as well. I know from experience when I tried Android. I know it's probably a bit better from when I used it to now. It's probably a bit better now these days. But I just find the iPhone simple, very very diverse,
Definitely.
very customizable and good to use. And I agree with you there, Mark. It's a great device, and I'm happy you're happy with it.
Yeah, what I did find is with Android, if you change your Android phone to another Android phone, it's a job like converting all the contacts and everything. With iPhone, all I had to do was sign into iCloud, and all my contacts are there on my new iPhone.
Yeah.
And that same goes with the Mac. If I put a photo on here, it will be on the Mac or the iPad. So the iCloud thing is excellent.
Yeah.
Android, you haven't got the same thing. It might be the same software, but not exactly the same.
Yeah, it connects with everything too. And if no one knows out there, I do have a Mac now, which is probably very odd for people who are watching this show, considering all the days that I used to use the old laptop, which I've got down there somewhere. But my iPhone connects really well with the Mac. I can actually, believe it or not, I've got an iPhone 6 by the way. I can actually use text messages, use iMessage on my Mac, and use the iMessage program on my Mac to send text messages. So if I'm away from my iPhone, it's charging or something, no worries, just use my Mac and I can reply to a message. It's so good.
Yeah, it's excellent. I was going to test sending you a message, but I don't know whether my number will come up or not. So I bet not.
I'm not sure. I think it only works for iMessage, which I believe you would have, obviously.
I've
iMessage.
got
So,
iMessage, but it's connected through my email as well
yeah,
as my
right.
mobile number.
Yeah.
So I don't want my mobile number split off the internet, or my it's got my main email as well. So
yeah, right.
I don't want to put that out either.
Well, we will get on to the Apple stuff very shortly, but I actually want to know, Mark, because I know a lot of people out there will be wondering what you actually do on the internet. I know back in a couple of years ago, you used to do Mr. Mark UK1. There was a lot of other things you used to do as well. You know, this month in Sims 3, we can look back on and say that was a great show, and really wish that was still continuing on your show or on whatever channel. But and then there was other things as well you used to do. What do you do now? Do you do anything on the internet? Do you do any type of videos?
At the moment, my channel is down due to personal reasons. So I'm not going to go into why. Obviously, you know why, Jacob. But I do want to bring it back. I want to do some gaming videos. I've tried to do one the other day, but my Frap software decided to not work. It recorded sound, but there was no video, which you don't really want. You want both. But also, I do a lot of vlogs. In the summer, I do a lot of camping shows, which is great fun. So I video all the shows, and I've got 2 years' worth on YouTube of camping videos. So it's mainly vlogs, talk about whatever, car vlogs, where I'm in the car talking about a load of rubbish. Also, holiday vlogs. I think since Mac Mania days, I went to Gran Canaria, and I videoed the holidays, 2 parts of that, which is great fun. I blew the electrics up the first night. My phone charger exploded. I tripped out the electrics. It was a cheap plug, so I don't think it liked the conversion.
Yeah.
So that was fun. But no one was hurt, luckily.
Oh, thank God. That's good.
But it was quite hot because it'd been in a hot climate and there's no aircon.
Yeah.
So that was fun. But the channel is still going there. We've nearly hitting 200 subscribers, which is amazing.
Which is good, yeah.
I remember hitting 100 subscribers, and I'm over 200 videos. I remember doing my 100 video. I think you was in it as well.
Yeah, I might have been in it. Yeah, I know I was in one of them, so I think it was the 100 video.
Yeah, you just 100 video. You said it said something about it. And we're actually coming up to 6 years this year, so...
Yeah, a lot of years.
That is
6 years.
6 years of
Mr.
Mark UK when it's gone really fast.
Well, exactly right. Last year just flew by, so everything's...
Oh, yeah.
Everything's just flying. So.
And on the 19th of January already, it's just like, where's this time gone?
Exactly right. So, yeah, good to hear that you're going well with all that stuff, and good to hear about your technology changes. Nothing much has really changed for me except the Mac and... Well, I guess that is a dramatic change, isn't it? Going from a Windows Vista PC, which you know what? Just for the purpose of this video, I'm gonna get it out. You know what? It's sitting right here. Here it is, right here. I'll just change.
You get to see it in person.
I'll just change my camera here so everyone can see on the live stream and on the pre-record. Look at that. It's my old laptop, and I haven't used it for a fair few years.
Geez, should give it to Elliot. He might be able to fix it, but I think shipping it over and shipping it back could be quite expensive.
I'll tell you what, this is the first time I've basically opened this thing for a couple of years, and I can find in here cobwebs, and there must be spiders living in here. But look at that. Look at that. I'll just make it out. Look at that. The old.
A lot heavier than your Mac, I'm guessing.
Sorry.
A lot heavier than the Mac.
Yeah, a lot bigger, and look, I've got a MacBook Air, and that's, oh geez, that is it's a thin piece of hardware. I can tell you that it's a thin portable device.
Very thin.
That's
You haven't got. I know Mac took out the CD drive.
Yeah.
And everything in the latest Mac.
Yeah, which we will
talk about. I think you've only got one USB port.
Yeah, actually I've got that down.
Does everything, which will drive me in round the bend.
Yeah, well, actually, I've got that down as one of the things to talk about because, Apple has the MacBook Air, which has no CD port but has all your necessary USB ports, VGA, Ethernet, all those, and then you've got the MacBook Pro, which does have a CD player, and then obviously you've got your other ranges as well, your iMac. But this was an interesting thing that Apple brought out, the MacBook, and it has basically it's basically the same as pretty much an iPhone, where it has one port, which is a USB port, and that's what you use to charge it, to stick your USB, sticks in, and to stick anything that is USB. It's unbelievable, actually. It's unbelievable, but I suppose it's I suppose it does. I guess fit someone's someone's what it fits what they want.
Because that would annoy me, because obviously I don't know about you, but I've got a main computer, but I'm always sticking USBs in my USB plug, like memory sticks, or whether it's the charge to iPhone or anything like that. So I know you can buy obviously the converter to get more USB plugs, but if you buy a cheap one, because it's being Apple, it'd be probably quite expensive. Will it still charge your Apple product, your Mac?
Yeah, I suppose. If if you're charging, if you have it charged 100%, and then you can just put it in and charge, that. I guess it would. But,
Interesting.
It's interesting. It's an interesting thing Apple brought out, and when I did hear about it, when I did see that they brought it out, I thought it was a bit funny, a bit strange, and something I never thought would see. But obviously, they still have the MacBook Pros and
They also got the Mac, because they did change the charger to the MagSaver, which is magnetic, which I think is an excellent idea. Because in all my laptops, I was forever tripping over my charger and pulling it out, and the laptop goes flying.
Yeah.
When I had the MagSaver, you trip over it and it just plonks out. And it's so much easier than wrecking your laptop.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's good. The magnetic charger, I love it, and it's very very easy. They provide quite a long cable as well, so I can. If I want to go all the way down, down there to my room, I've got it plugged right in here, so I can just go all the way down there, and it'll go all the way down to the other side of my room. So that's what I like. I want to ask you something else, Mark. I want to ask you something else about the products that have been. I've got a list here, by the way, of things I want to talk about with you, and obviously the world of Apple. And I remember back a couple of years ago on Mac Mania, we were always talking about frequently, especially the last year or so. We were talking about the iWatch and whether it be or the Apple Watches. We were calling it, or what else were we calling it? The smart Apple Watch or whatever. We were talking about that. We were talking about what it could be used for. It's a reality now these days. As we sit here and do this show, it is a reality. It's now being used. What do you think about it? Because it obviously works. It obviously is something that people are doing. People are using.
I actually went into the Apple store and actually had a look at it. My friend and his dad said it was well surprised how expensive it was. Like, why would you pay like £1,000 for a watch? Okay, what was the gold watch? It could have been more. But it's a lot of money for a watch. But yeah, it does all this cool stuff. You can make phone calls, you can text and use Siri and stuff with it. But the problem is, it's a great technology. But the problem I see is you spend all that money on it, and a year later they bring a new one out. Yeah. So it's a lot of money just to spend on for a year.
Yeah.
But we'll spend a lot of money on a watch. I want to have it for at least a few years, not 1 year.
Yeah. Like I guess Apple is still rolling out software updates for it and stuff, but I don't know. I kind of find it like interesting because obviously I actually have a smart, not a smart touch watch, but I actually have a watch where I can, because I run and stuff, so. I like to track my Ks, and this is exactly what you can do on this Apple Watch as well as other things like has Siri on it, so get Siri to remind you of what you have on for the day and stuff like that. So it is an interesting product. It is something that we used to talk about. I know Elliot Lyons, who hosted the show with us and was on the show, talked about how you would use it and whether it would actually have calls, whether it would ring and you'd have to go like that. You know what I mean? So it's an interesting product, but like you said, the price is a factor, and what it is kind of I guess watches out there, the old-fashioned analog watches, I guess are maybe cheaper than that, but still expensive. So but you're right. It is a very expensive product for something where they're probably going to bring out more of it. I definitely agree with that.
Oh yeah, it's like no doubt. It's always upgrading the iPhone.
Yeah, exactly.
And the Macs. Which I do want to talk about in a minute. I don't know what you got on to talk
about. Yeah, well, what did you want to talk about, sorry?
Well, I don't know. I don't remember, but when we did the show, I don't know if the new charging port came out.
I think it did. I think I remember having Yeah, I think it did. But
It did. That's right.
it
Because
did.
we've got
But
the new charging port now.
yeah, the lightning port. But I want to steer this in another direction because the iPad. We all, we all were fascinated about the iPad when it came out. There's a new type of brand. We obviously when we were doing the show, we had the iPad. Then the iPad Mini came out. There's a new type of iPad, the iPad Pro. Now I remember, and if you go back through the archives on youtube.com/MacMania71, I remember talking about having shows where we were talking about if the iPad would replace, the computer, the Mac. We were all saying no, definitely not. Video editing, you can't do that on an iPad as fast as what you can on a Mac or a computer or PC or whatever you're using. But now an iPad Pro has come out, and it's kind of put the discussion back in the works a little bit.
That is ginormous, the iPad Pro.
Yeah, and we.
I remember.
Sorry, Mark. I remember just. I just want to make a point before you go on. I remember we were also talking about multitasking and stuff. You can actually do that on the iPad Pro. You can have a split screen with two programs together, which is still not ideal. But what do you think, Mark?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I never actually knew about it until suddenly I started seeing all these videos come up on YouTube, and I was watching Justine. I see this big great box thinking, what is this, some sort of joke? And she was opening it thinking, it's ginormous, and it was as huge as her MacBook. Like, what the dickens? Apple actually brought this out, and I was really surprised that Apple is really huge, and you've got to hold two hands to pick it up, so it's a huge tablet, and I don't think I would like it because it's way too big. But I've actually used it in the Apple Store, and it's quite light-ish. But you also get like a pen you can use with it as well.
Yeah, Apple Pen, yeah.
You don't like using your fingers, but I think they're about like what, £60 or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know how much the pen is, but
obviously Apple do
you
make
you can get a keyboard for it as well. I believe.
It's interesting.
But yeah, they are quite big.
It's interesting, isn't it? It's an interesting thing they brought out. This was only last year they brought this out, obviously, so this is recent. And I have to ask the question, and I probably know your answer, but do you think we're getting somewhere? Do you think tablets will once take over the computer universe, or are they taking it over now? I don't know what you think about that. I expect I'll probably expect an answer. I probably expect the answer you're going to give me, probably.
I think it might, in a way, because especially for the older generation who doesn't want to spend all that money on a laptop, because tablets are really cheap now. They're cheaper than a laptop. And they're Windows 8 as well, if you've got Windows, or depends on what you're getting. Windows 8, or Windows 10, Windows 10, or, because Windows 10 is out now. That's obviously not Apple, anything to do with Apple, but it is out.
Yeah, but...
And you also got the iPad. So whether it is in a way cheaper, and I think the iPad's cheaper than the Mac as well, are people start going to use tablets? But then again, my issue is if you're someone like us who wants to do YouTube videos and always editing, I don't think the editing software quite just. I'm not sure what you can get on the tablet, but iPad you still get iMovie. I've got iMovie on my phone, and I've used it a few times, but it's really small, and trying to get the right cut, it's really difficult, especially on the iPhone. So I don't know if in that respect it will take over the computer system. I don't know. What are your views?
Well, look, I still think we've got a long way to go, to be honest. Well, I don't know. Tablets, the Microsoft Surface seems to be a pretty successful tablet. I know a lot of people disagree about that. Probably still think the computers are still leading the way at this stage. I think the iPads and stuff are more for portable kind of basic use, email, web, photos. You can do a little bit of movie editing, video editing if you really want to.
If you're someone who just wants to go on Facebook, check emails, check a bit of YouTube, or play some games, then the tablet is absolutely perfect.
Exactly. If you want to use basic use, I think the iPad Pro is a little bit of a step forward, but you can't, you can only have, well, you can multitask. You can do a fair bit on them. It's probably not as powerful as probably a Mac, but it is a pretty powerful machine, and I don't know. At this stage, I wouldn't invest in one. I wouldn't replace. Let's just say I wouldn't replace my Mac for an iPad Pro, if you know what I mean. And yeah,
It's an interesting topic.
it is. It's a very interesting topic because yeah, it's we used to talk about this topic about would iPads, would tablets in general. I'm not just talking about iPads now. Talking about other tablets out there. There's a whole range of them that come in to play. But probably at the moment, there's a lot. I don't reckon stores and stuff. Stores and companies could replace their hardware, their computers, their laptops, whatever they're using, most likely computers, most likely desktop computers and machines, with an iPad Pro. I highly doubt that at this stage. So probably the computers are leading at the moment. But maybe in the future, I don't know. I still think we're a fair bit off it, but that's maybe because I'm so attached to using a laptop. And just looking on my other sheet of paper as well, the iPhone, obviously, when we touched a little bit on this before, the iPhone, when we ended the show, the iPhone 6 was yet to get released. I don't know if I asked you about your thoughts, Mark, if I ever did, about the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6 Plus. You happy with the two models? You've got the iPhone, just the standard basic, this kind of size iPhone 6. And then, what do you think?
It's okay. Obviously, I wouldn't, when I upgrade, I'll probably get the 6, or depends on what's that, because I've got a 2-year contract. So it'll probably be the 7 or whatever, 8 then. But the Pro, or the Plus, sorry, it's too big.
You reckon? Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
I've got big hands, so I can use it in one hand. But it's just, I don't like it huge. I want something small.
That's what because when I was.
So yeah, I just don't. Okay, it's a good idea. Some people might like the biggest shape, but nah, not for me.
Yeah, same with me. Like when I was investing in getting this, just a year ago now. No, a couple of years ago, because it's 2016. I actually think I made the straight decision straight away. Nah, this has got to be the phone for me because it's too big. I don't reckon I could fit a bigger one of these in the shorts that I'm wearing right now. The pockets I have, I reckon it'd be sticking out a little bit. It wouldn't be right in your pocket like a phone should be. So, it's good, and it's a good device, and it's big, and everyone likes bigger screens. But if you're traveling around with it, unless it's a laptop where you've got a case and stuff for it, where you put it in like I do, I put it in my bag and take it to school. For me personally, and I know for you, Mark, as well, it's too big. Too big to, not, it's portable, but too big to be portable for me in general. I know other people out there do like it though.
Yeah, a lot of people do have it. I've seen a few people use it, but.
And I've got some other topics as well. Just by the way, just before I keep going, we are streaming this at the moment. Of course, if you're watching this pre-recorded version of this special Mac Mania Get Back Together edition, then I welcome you if you're watching it. We'll put it on YouTube, youtube.com/MacMania71. So if you're watching there, thank you very much for watching. And if you're watching on the live stream as well, thank you very much for watching as well. Our live stream is ustream.tv/MacMania71, and our YouTube is youtube.com/MacMania71. I don't know if we'll ever do one of these. Probably next year we'll do another one of these. But I'm just moving back on to what I have on my list. Apple Music, if you know, it's a bit like Spotify. If you know what Spotify is, and Pandora, those kind of apps where you can buy for a certain amount, per month to stream music through your Wi-Fi or through your data. What do you think of this, Mark? Do you think this is good? Would you pay? Would you pay a certain amount per month to listen to unlimited music, any music you want on the library?
Probably not, because I don't listen to much music anyway, and even if I did, I'll use YouTube. But with the whole YouTube Red thing coming in, I don't know if it's hit Australia yet, but it's not hit the UK yet. But I know YouTube Red is coming in soon. I'm not really too sure.
I think I've heard about it.
Happening with that. But with Apple Music, I wouldn't pay a subscription to it because I don't use it. I hardly use Spotify, so I don't think I would. And no, I don't think. I think it's just more money for Apple. They want more money.
Well, when they announced this at the keynote, I think everyone was a bit surprised because they're entering the music business a bit too late. Spotify, which is an app that I actually do use, that I don't pay per month, but you can use it for free. You just don't get some of the premium features. I know they've been around for a pretty long time. Pandora's a popular one as well. I know that's only just hit Australia just recently. I mean, about a couple of years ago now, but it's an interesting business that Apple has got into. But I know my friend uses it, and he's perfectly happy with it. And of course, Apple has actually released this to not only the iPhone but also Android devices. So if you want unlimited music and you're happy to pay, it's not a big fee, but it is dollars out of your bank account to pay per month for unlimited music, which is it's probably I don't know if it's better than downloading a heap of music from YouTube and putting in a playlist. So I guess it works.
I don't know how much it is vaguely, but it's not. I don't think I would get it.
I'd probably rather I do tend to use these music services when I listen to music on the bus or whatever. I probably would rather use Spotify though, just because I'm more familiar with Spotify, but also Apple Music. I don't think it's there just yet, but it does work.
No.
Does work pretty, and I know seeing some video reviews, a lot of people think Spotify is a lot more better, and of course Pandora out there as well. I haven't really used Pandora. I know when I tried to use it, I didn't really like it. So, but it's an interesting business, and moving on from music to the music player, and I know we used to talk about this a lot, the iPod Touch. Is it dead? Because Apple has not, the iPod Touch 5. That was released in 2012. Since then, there hasn't been any iPod kind of connection at all.
I'm not too sure with the iPod.
We used to be a real big fan of the iPod. We used to, talk about it a lot. I know now you've got an iPhone. You wouldn't want one now, but
I did have one.
Yeah.
Well, I did actually, after we stopped Mac Mania, I did buy an iPod Touch, and I got back an iMessage again, which was really weird. And then I gave it to my mum, and now she's got a new iPod Touch, which is, I think it's the 5. So yeah, I still got an iPod in the house somewhere too. Well, not mine, but one we take back. But yeah, I think the iPod Touch could be dead because I did use it. It was a great thing. Had a camera, a nice little few apps you could put on it. Yeah, it was alright. But I think it could be dead.
Well, I haven't really done anything with it. I guess with the iPhones and stuff now.
And the iPads as well.
Yeah, I guess it's something I haven't really decided to revisit. I've still got my iPod 5. I use it occasionally. I don't use it as much anymore, really.
So you've got now 3 platforms for iMessage to go through.
Yeah, and of course the iPhone 6. I just use that now. It's I do use it occasionally. My iPod for music and stuff, but that's about all I use it for. And of course my Mac as well. I always use that as well. So, yeah, sad actually because it was a good business while it lasted. The iPod, it's still around. Obviously, you can still buy it, and you can still buy it on the Apple Store. I just don't think it's well advertised enough anymore to be really, a really good product. Really, that's out there. Or an existing product, really, Apple. I know going to their website, if you go to apple.com, there's not an iPod tab anymore. There used to be an iPod tab up the top, and it's not there anymore. So Apple are killing it by the sounds of it, but not not fully, if you know what I mean.
So there isn't, is there? Oh, I've just noticed.
Yeah, I noticed that today actually while doing my research for the show. So that's really what's going on in the Apple world. That's basically, I don't think I've missed anything. That's basically all the things. We have actually, this is one thing we haven't seen anything of that we used to talk about a lot on the show, is the Apple TV, in other words, the Apple big, screen with a screen TV. We haven't seen that, so that's something we haven't seen.
No, are you talking about? Oh yeah, the old Apple TV. The thing is, if they did, they will have to call it Apple TV.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't call it iTV because that
exactly.
is a channel out here in the UK.
That's always what we used to. We used to always talk about that, didn't we? And I don't know if they ever will. I think they're happy with just selling their just their little Apple TV box.
You never know because they bought the huge iPad out and the iWatch, so you just don't know what's around the corner for Apple because they were talking about. They've got Apple Maps and they're talking about getting an Apple car. There was some talks about some time ago an Apple car.
I highly doubt that. They brought Beats as well. We should also mention that they brought Beats, the headset. If you know what the Beats are, they brought that. So that is official Apple owned product, and it's really basically everything that's going on at the moment in Apple, and I'm sure this year is going to be a big year for them as well. We could see the iPhone, we'll see another iPhone, I reckon, and obviously iPad updates and all that. New iOS would be good as well. Maybe a major iOS update maybe coming on the cards. I don't know, but this has been a good episode. Been a good return back together episode to catch up on everything that's it's
been good.
That's been good. I just want to mention, by the way, I forgot to mention at the start of the show, some of the other things have changed in me as well. I've upgraded from the PS3 to the PS4, so that's just something I wanted to mention as well.
I got rid of my PS3.
I haven't got any
consoles at all.
I've still got my PS3, but I've upgraded to the PS4. I'm using the PS4 now as my console. Just thought I'd mention that. But Mark, it's been great to catch up with you. Great to
yes, definitely. I don't know if I mentioned either, but I've become a YouTube partner as well.
Nice.
A couple of years ago.
Very nice. Go check him out, youtube.com/Mr. Mark UK1. Do you want to go through your links, by the way, where everyone can find you these days?
I used to remember Lee falling asleep because I had so many different links to everything else. So, blimey, what are they? Well, the YouTube Mr. Mark UK1, of course. Matty's obviously down, but keep checking it out because it will be back soon. My Twitter, Mark94UK. My other Twitter I don't use, so I'm not going to give that out. What else was there? Website's down. I don't use that anymore. It's been down for like years. I missed the email. If you want to email me, it's mrmarkuk1@hotmail.co.uk, and of course the Facebook page, Mr. Mark UK1 on Facebook.
Everything's
nice. Mr. Mark UK1 apart from Twitter. Also, one other thing, if you have Snapchat, you know where to find me, Mr. Mark UK1.
I think I have you on Snapchat, actually. I think I do. But
yeah, I think you do, yes. You might do. I don't know, actually.
Just to go through my links quickly, youtube.com/BBB5 Productions 1. I do a weekly video on there. Maybe not in the category of this show, but if you want to go check it out, subscribe. I'm actually thinking of setting up a personal YouTube account just under my name, Jacob Bevis. Just for other things as well, because I want to get into some other videos as well. Travel videos, travelling around Tasmania, where I live, Australia. There's plenty of things to see here in Australia. So
that'd be interesting.
Yeah, so I might check that out. Check that out and set that up soon, very soon. Twitter.com/BeverB5. What else do I have? I have a photography page, Facebook.com/JB Photo and Film, I think it is. I'll put the links down in the description if you're watching the pre-recorded, and if you're watching the Ustream, then
I never knew that actually. So
I do. It's only been around for a couple of months, but I haven't been doing much on it anyway. I think that's basically it for links. Instagram.com/BeverB5. That's really all my links. Don't really have a lot these days. I used to have Tumblr and WordPress, which I still have, but I don't advertise that because I don't do anything on them. I just haven't got the time to do all that social media. I only have time for Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, whatever. But Mark, it's been a real pleasure to be doing the show with you once again. Do miss the show, I must say. It was always good to come on and talk about Apple news. It's something I do miss, but it's good to talk Apple with you again, Mark.
Yeah.
Really good.
It's just unfortunate where I've got a job now and it's never had time for it. It's obviously shift work.
Same with me.
Obviously shift work, I'm guessing. So it's all a
Yeah.
bit hard.
I completely understand the boat you're in. I work nights, so I work late nights, and I also do a lot of other commitments as well. Obviously,
So it's late night now for you, so you're not working today, I'm taking.
no, not working tonight, but I do work.
My shifts always change every blinking week, so that's why when we were trying to arrange the show, I said, or if it was middle of last week, I said, I haven't got my shifts yet, and suddenly, I think, Wednesday, I got my shift saying, next Tuesday I'm free, we can do the show.
Yeah. Well, it was very good. It was a very good idea, and thanks to the Facebook page for, not the Facebook page, the Twitter page who brought it up, of course. That's where it first all started. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this, I guess, reunion, basically. We can call it a reunion. We're calling it the Get Back Together episode, but it is in a way. It is in a way a reunion, and yeah, it's good to get back, of course. Obviously, Elliot used to be a part of the show back in the days. It's unfortunately he couldn't be here, but obviously
did Lee.
Yeah, Lee. But we did start the show. We were the ones that used to always do it together. So it was good to catch up with you, Mark. So thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much, Mark, for joining me.
That's okay.
It's been great fun. So hopefully we can do it again, maybe in a year's time, maybe.
Maybe.
Thank you very much,
or
everyone.
Even maybe a Christmas special.
Maybe that's something I missed last year too.
We never did one last year. That was really weird. I remember saying to you on Christmas Day, first time no Mac Mania special.
First time in a couple of years, of course. And we cannot forget that famous Christmas show one. The first Christmas show. We can all...
With everybody. Me, Lee, Robert. I think nobody Lee was there, but Robert was there, and Elliot, and that wasn't wrong. Your laptop blowing up, and
I look back on that now and I just think, oh, geez, why did I try to use Big Blaster on my crappy old computer?
Yeah.
Thanks, Mark. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Of course, this is going to be uploaded to the YouTube channel, so thank you very much for joining us. Bye for now.
See ya.